you tell our viewers like what inspired you to actually take control of your publishing early on?
Well, it's really funny. It's the weirdest thing. I was at Larry Graham's house one night, and Larry was leaving Sly and the Family Stone, and so you had all these people from Hollywood come up, trying to get Larry to sign. And matter of fact, Neil Sean, who had been with Carlos Santana, and this was before they started Journey. He was thinking about playing with Larry, and so it was like a lot of stuff going on in the Bay Area, and so they had all these people from Hollywood, New York, up to Larry's house one night, trying to figure out what's going on. So I'm up there, and Larry is playing all this stuff for the new Graham Central Station record that he was doing, which I'm on. I'm all over that record because me and Larry did it right there in his house before he even formed the band, right? And so they was like, "Oh man, you could really sing, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." So it got late, and I didn't want to drive home, so I just went in the bedroom and I fell asleep. And so the bedroom room had two beds in it, but there's nobody else in there. So I wake up about 5 o'clock in the morning and getting ready to go home, holler at my girl, and so there's a girl in the other bed. And I'm like, oh Lord, that must have maybe it's my gift or whatever. But me and her started talking. And she said, "You can really sing." I said, "Thank you." And she says, "You do write?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, did you have your own publishing?" And I was like, "No, what is?" I mean, I kind of knew about publishing, but I'm thinking publishing is something that guys in white shirts and on the avenues of America, or some big building in New York or Los Angeles handle. And she's like, "Oh no, you can go down to the courthouse and I think it's $25 then and get a fictitious business license and start your own publishing company." I said, "Really?" And so she said, "I'm going back to LA tomorrow." He said, "But here's my phone number. I'll walk you through it." And that's how I got my own publishing. So I said, "Wait, that was a piece I didn't get, but I got so much more." I mean, that was you know, uh, 2, 3 million, $4 million piece of advice
Wow, yeah,
that she gave me. Yeah.
that's amazing. That's
So I
amazing.
say always, my mother was a businesswoman, and I always respected, women and their, business acumen and everything, and looked at them more, you know, uh, tried to look at them equally from a physical standpoint as well as an intellectual standpoint. But that night it really brought it home to me that had I pursued the romantic avenue with her instead of you know trying to be intellectual and learn something or talk to her, I'd probably wound up like the majority of people. Your first big records will be owned by somebody else. Somebody else owned the publishing. So I always tell guys, man, when you meet these girls, these women, don't be so quick to get the kissing and hugging. You better do some talking first and find out, what you meet 5 or 6 women there all at the table, and it might be a brainiac open there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you want pick the right one. Yeah,
Thinking with the right head, for sure.
exactly. You said it precisely.
And you can take my show on the go by subscribing to the Lionel B Show podcast, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Breaker, and more. On my podcast, you get everything you love about the Lionel B Show, raw and unfiltered, and even exclusive episodes only available on my podcast. Subscribe now.
Yeah, 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 yeah.